Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. In a big development push to northeast India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launches multiple projects worth over $6.69 billion in 6 states of the region, says expansion of industries to be next phase of development in the northeast. India presents extensive model on behalf of G4 nations for UNSC reform, includes new permanent members elected democratically by General Assembly and displays flexibility on the veto issue. Proposal elicits strong support from wider UN members. European Union to accelerate efforts to set up maritime corridor to transport aid from Cyprus to Gaza. EU chief says maritime corridor to Gaza could begin operating this weekend. And India thumped England by an innings and 64 runs in Dharamshala to win the series 4-1. Big announcement by BCCI announces Test cricket incentive scheme to reward players for prioritizing red ball format. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed Viksit Bharat Viksit Northeast program in Itanagar in the northeastern state of Arunachal Pradesh today. Prime Minister Modi inaugurated and dedicated to the nation, laid the foundation stone for multiple development projects worth over $6.69 billion in Manipur, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Sikkim, Tripura and Arunachal Pradesh. The development projects encompass sectors like rail, road, health, housing, education, border infrastructure, IT, power, oil and gas, among others. Prime Minister Modi also launched the Unnati scheme worth $1.20 billion. The SAA Tunnel Project, constructed at a cost of over $100 million, is an engineering marvel. It will provide all-weather connectivity to Tawang across Sela Pass on the Balipara Charidwar Tawang Road in Arunachal Pradesh. It has been constructed using new Austrian tunneling method, incorporates safety features of the highest standards. The project will not only provide faster and more efficient transport route in the region, but is of strategic importance to the country as well. Addressing the gathering, Prime Minister Modi said Northeast is becoming a strong link for trade and tourism with South Asia and East Asia. Prime Minister also spoke about मोदी की गारंटी।
मोदी की गारंटी तो सुन ही रहे हैं आप लोग, लेकिन मोदी की गारंटी का मतलब क्या होता है, ये जरा अरुणाचल में आएंगे ना, इतने दूर सुदूर आपको साक्षात नजर आएगा। पूरा नॉर्थ ईस्ट देख रहा है कि मोदी की गारंटी कैसे काम कर रही है। 2019 में यहीं से मैंने सेला टनल का शिलान्यास करने का काम किया था, और आज क्या हुआ, बन गया कि नहीं बन गया, बन गया कि नहीं बन गया। क्या इसको गारंटी कहते हैं कि नहीं कहते हैं? ये गारंटी पक्की गारंटी है कि नहीं है? देखिए 2019 में ही डोनी पोलो एयरपोर्ट का भी शिलान्यास मैंने किया था। आज ये एयरपोर्ट शानदार सेवाएं दे रहा है कि नहीं दे रहा है? अब बताइए, अगर मैंने 2019 में किया ना तो कुछ लोगों को लगता था कि मोदी तो चुनाव के लिए कर रहा है। समय कोई भी हो, वर्ष कोई भी हो, महीना कोई भी हो, मेरा काम सिर्फ और सिर्फ देशवासियों के लिए होता है, जनता जनार्दन के लिए होता है, आपके लिए होता है।
SAA Tunnel is constructed at a cost of more than $100 million, will provide all-weather connectivity to Tawang across Sela Pass. DD India correspondent Vishal Beristo spoke with DG of Border Roads Organization on utility of this tunnel for military and civilian affairs.
I'm at the entrance of SAA Tunnel, which is more than 13,000 feet high. The temperature right now is almost freezing point, and as we go inside, it would dip more. This tunnel provides an all-weather access, especially to the armed forces, and also very convenient for the civilians. I have with me the DG of the Border Roads Organization, General Srinivasan. When we say this is an all-weather access tunnel, what does it mean?
To say that, you first have to understand the access to Tawang has always been through the Sela Pass. Now, Sela Pass itself remains snowbound for approximately 20 days in the year, and snowfall falls approximately 130 days in the total year, which has to be cleared. Now, because it is single lane, because it has so many zigs to it, and because of the snow which falls on it, the amount of traffic which can ply on it is limited. This tunnel system, both Tunnel 1 and Tunnel 2, ensure that we don't have to climb the pass, and no matter what the weather, we will be able to access Tawang.
How important is this tunnel, especially for the military challenges, and helpful for it?
Definitely. I mean, to have all-weather connectivity to Tawang, which is a strategically very important region, is imperative. And this tunnel provides that all-weather connectivity, so that no matter what is the snow condition, whatever is the weather conditions, we will be able to get whatever forces need to move into the Tawang region, they can move.
So there you heard DG BRO. He's quite a contented person, and why not? The difficult task has been accomplished. With cameraman Yogesh inside the SAA Tunnel, this is Vishal Baristo for DD India.
The SAA Tunnel Project in Arunachal Pradesh will make transportation much easier for armed forces and general public near the Indo-China border. A bus with school children on board crossed over the tunnel with Indian tricolour. DD India's Vishal Baristo brings us this report.
वतन वतन मेरे आबाद रहे तू, मैं जहाँ रहूँ जहाँ में याद रहे तू, मैं जहाँ रहूँ जहाँ में याद रहे तू, ऐ वतन मेरे वतन.
Oh, my country, wherever I go, wherever I live, but my country lives on. Long live India. Now, this is the message from these school kids, and they are so very excited with tricolour in their hands and tricoloured balloons on their bus. They are ready to cross over to Tawang from West Kemyang district, and we are going through the tunnel which has been just inaugurated. Let's talk to them. These are government school children. First, we'll ask the teacher. What's your name?
My name is Dawa Children.
What makes you so excited with this inauguration of the tunnel, and what do you have to say about the Prime Minister?
At the very outset, I'd like to pay my huge gratitude to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and also to Chief Minister Pema Khandu for allowing this big project. And I'm sure that this project is going to be of much help to the people, to the public, and also to the tourists.
What's your name?
My name is Tanvedar.
Okay, tell me that how much we are being informed that this will save at least 1 hour. So do you have relatives across the tunnel?
Yes, sir, I have many relatives across the tunnel. They are my uncles, aunts, and many more.
So it is round the year access tunnel. So what makes you so happy? Is it that accessibility has increased now?
Yes, it really feels very good.
Okay.
That in winters I can go easily now. Yes. There will be no blockage or any kind of harsh conditions. Oh, and I'm very happy that this tunnel had been completed. Now I can able to go wherever I want. Thank you.
Surely. So with the tricolours in their hands, they can express their feelings, and they can also shout for their country.
Bharat Mata ki! Bharat Mata ki! Bharat Mata ki!
Long live my country, hail my country. Now this area borders China. In 1962, China invaded Tawang. But you can see the feeling of nationalism flows in their blood, and they are also very excited for their motherland, for the development that is happening here in the eastern part of Arunachal Pradesh. With cameraman Yogesh from SAA Tunnel, this is Vishal Barrister for DD India.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also inaugurated, dedicated to the nation, and laid foundation stone for multiple development projects worth more than $2.1 billion in Assam's Jorhat. The development projects of the day encompass sectors of health, oil and gas, rail and housing. Prime Minister dedicated to nation important projects like new medical college and hospital at Tinsukia and 718 kilometers long Barauni-Guwahati pipeline, among others. Prime Minister also inaugurated about 5.5 lakh homes under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Grameen, constructed at a total cost of over $1 billion. Speaking at a public rally in Jorhat, Prime Minister Modi said development of the Northeast is necessary for fulfilling the resolution of Viksit Bharat or Developed India. It considers the entire Northeast as his family.
कांग्रेस के लंबे शासनकाल में नॉर्थ ईस्ट को दशकों तक सरकार की उपेक्षा सहनी पड़ी है। विकास की कई परियोजनाओं का शिलान्यास करके फोटो खिंचवा ली, लोगों को गुमराह कर दिया और फिर भाग गए, हाथ खींच लिए। लेकिन मोदी पूरे नॉर्थ ईस्ट को अपना परिवार मानता है, इसलिए हमने उन प्रोजेक्ट्स को भी पूरा करने पर फोकस किया जिन्हें वर्षों से लटकाया जा रहा था, कागज पर लिख करके छोड़ दिया गया था। भाजपा सरकार ने सराय घाट पर दूसरे ब्रिज, ढोला सदिया ब्रिज और बोगी बिल ब्रिज का काम पूरा कर उन्हें देश की सेवा में समर्पित किया।
Prime Minister Modi also inaugurated a 125 feet high statue of valor of legendary Ahom General Laet Bokan in Assam's Jorhat district. The project includes construction of Laet and Thai Om music and museum and a 500 seating capacity auditorium. PM Modi also inaugurated and laid foundation stones of both central and state projects worth over $2.1 billion from Jorhat. Laet Bokan was the famous general of the Royal Army of Ahom Kingdom of Assam who defeated the Mughals. The project is an effort to celebrate the valor of Laet Bokan and enhance awareness about him. It will also boost tourism and lead to a generation of employment opportunities in the region. Earlier, Prime Minister Modi visited the world-famous Kaziranga National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site in Assam. Prime Minister took an elephant safari in a Mimuk area of central Kohora range of the park, followed by a jeep safari within the same range. PM also interacted with One Durga, the team of women forest guards at the forefront of conservation efforts, lauded the dedication and courage in safeguarding natural heritage. Prime Minister also shared glimpses of him feeding sugarcane to elephants. He urged the citizens to visit Kaziranga National Park and experience the unparalleled beauty of its landscapes. Kaziranga National Park is famous for one-horned rhinoceros, elephants, wild water buffaloes, swamp deer. Tigers are also found in this park. Moving on, India has proposed a detailed model representing the G4 nations for Security Council reform. It suggests adding new permanent members elected by the General Assembly and shows flexibility on the veto issue. India's permanent representatives to the UN, Ambassador Ruchira Kamboj, emphasized the importance of United Nations' 80th anniversary next year as a milestone to make tangible progress on long-pending issue of Security Council reforms. Participating in the intergovernmental negotiations, she presented the G4 model on behalf of Brazil, Germany, Japan and India, sparking strong support for a wide range of UN members. Indian Army, Navy and Air Force will be carrying out a multi-domain exercise, Bharat Shakti, on 12th March at Bokan. The exercise will be showcasing made-in-India weapons platforms apart from demonstrating the synergy of the three services.
This exercise will showcase high synergy, multi-service, multi-domain capability, thereby demonstrating inter-service integration. Since the event is being conducted at Pokhran, it imposes certain terrain restrictions on the employment of naval maneuvers. So therefore, such capabilities will be transmitted digitally on screen, and some of them will also be showcased in the static equipment display.
Let's now take a look at other stories making news today. India's Minister for Information Broadcasting, Anurag Singh Thakur, interacted with Viksit Bharat ambassadors and young achievers in Bengaluru. He called upon citizens to join hands with Prime Minister Modi to be part of Viksit Bharat Sankalp Abhiyan. India's Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Arjun Munda, inaugurated Agriculture Integrated Command and Control Centre, established at Krishi Bhavan in New Delhi, to empower farmers of the country by equipping them with information services and facilities. India's Narcotics Control Bureau has arrested the mastermind behind the drug trafficking network spanning India, Australia and New Zealand. Arrest marks significant breakthrough in dismantling the transnational network involved in illegal trade of narcotics. India Met Department has predicted light to moderate scattered rainfall or snowfall over western Himalayan region from 11th to 14th of March. The Weather Office has also predicted isolated to scattered rainfall over adjoining plains on 12th to 14th of this month. And still to come on this edition of DD India Live. US Navy shoots down 15 UAVs in Red Sea area. European Union to accelerate efforts to set up maritime corridor to transport aid from Cyprus to Gaza. Armenia considers applying for European Union membership as it seeks to forge closer ties with the West in the face of tensions with traditional ally Russia.
India that invents. India that innovates. India that excites. India that invites. Land of possibilities. Teeming with opportunities. Watch India Ideas each Thursday 8 p.m. only on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Moving on, US Navy ships and aircraft shot down 15 uncrewed aerial vehicles, UAVs fired by Yemen's Houthis in the Red Sea area early on Saturday. The US Central Command said the military was responding to a large-scale attack by Iranian-backed Houthi terrorists launched into the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. It further added UAEs were determined to present an imminent threat to the merchant vessels, US Navy and coalition ships in the region. Meanwhile, Houthis on early Saturday targeted bulk carrier Propel Fortune in Gulf of Aden. Houthis military spokesperson Daya Saraya, in a televised speech, gave details of the attack. He also said on Saturday they targeted a number of US war destroyers at Red Sea and Gulf of Aden with 37 drones. The EU has announced the opening of a sea corridor this weekend for shipping humanitarian aid from Cyprus to Gaza in the race to stave off famine that is already claiming lives. This comes after head of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, said a maritime aid corridor could start operating between Cyprus and Gaza as part of accelerating Western efforts to relieve the humanitarian crisis in the war-ravaged Palestinian enclave.
This Cyprus Maritime Corridor together, Cyprus, the European Union, the United Arab Emirates and the United States. And it is your relentless work to get this corridor up and running, despite all the challenges, and this is truly inspiring. We are now very close to the opening of the corridor, hopefully this Sunday.
And for more, DD India correspondent Alex Kadir reports from Jerusalem.
Well, that deadline to reach a ceasefire deal is fast approaching, and US President Joe Biden says it will be tough to get a deal before Sunday. That is when the Israelis have said they will go into Rafah and launch a military operation into Rafah in southern Gaza if a deal to release those hostages is not reached. But also, we expect Ramadan, the holy month of Ramadan, to start on Sunday as well, and that will be a flashpoint here in Jerusalem. President Joe Biden again saying he is concerned that this city will become a flashpoint, will become a place for clashes between worshippers and police. Those worshippers trying to get to Al-Aqsa Mosque, that mosque behind me, the third holiest site in Islam, and being perhaps frustrated on their way to do so by Israeli border police. That is some of the flashpoints that we can expect to see here in the coming days. There will be a tension over this city, particularly as those ceasefire talks are stalled or are tough, as Joe Biden says it. On the other hand, the US military is going to start building that artificial pier off the coast of Gaza to allow bigger ships to bring in that much needed humanitarian aid, much needed food. The US military saying it will take 60 days and around 1,000 US Army personnel to build it, but that doesn't mean aid is not on the way already. We know that ships are being loaded up in Cyprus now by charities coordinated with the European Union. They will set sail for Gaza. It will take about 2 or 3 days for them to get there. They will set sail on Saturday or Sunday. So that food, that aid will start trickling in. It's been described as a pilot program by Ursula von der Leyen, the president of the European Commission. The question remains, how will that food then get off these bigger ships and on to Gaza? That has still not been determined. This is one of the main challenges in getting food to Gaza, where the UN says nearly 500,000 people are on the edge of famine. So that is the dire situation on the ground in Gaza, the tense situation here in Jerusalem, and no progress in those ceasefire talks. Alex Kadya in Jerusalem, reporting for DD India.
Meanwhile, in a tragic and shocking accident, at least 5 people were killed, 10 injured after a parachute carrying humanitarian aid failed to open and crashed into civilians. The parachute came crashing down onto a group of civilians who had gathered to receive food in north of Gaza City's Shati refugee camp. The Gaza government in a statement said it had previously warned that airdrops pose a threat to the lives of people residing in the Gaza Strip. Negotiations on a possible ceasefire in Israel-Hamas conflict, now in its 5th month, remains deadlocked in Cairo, with time running out to reach a truce in time for the Muslim holy month of Ramadan expected to begin on Sunday. Israel and Hamas blame each other for the lack of agreement after talks mediated by Qatar and Egypt about a 40-day ceasefire amid fears of violence could escalate during the Muslim fasting month. Earlier, senior US administration officials said the onus was on Hamas to complete a hostage deal and attributed the delay to what they described as Hamas so far not agreeing to release the sick and elderly hostages. US President Joe Biden has said it was looking tough for a ceasefire agreement in Gaza by the start of Ramadan. Biden also said he was concerned about violence in East Jerusalem without a ceasefire.
Ceasefire by Ramadan. It's looking tough, but are you concerned about violence?
The US Secretary of State Antony Blinken said it was up to Hamas to agree to a ceasefire. The ceasefire would allow more humanitarian aid into Gaza, pave the way for talks on an enduring resolution to the conflict. Blinken and his Turkish foreign minister counterpart, Hakan Fidan, held discussions on a wide range of topics ranging from security, regional cooperation, trade, energy and other issues. The last couple of months, this is the 3rd meeting between the two leaders. In the meeting, Blinken said Washington was still pushing for a ceasefire.
And in this moment, in this hour, we're also intensely focused on seeing if we can get a ceasefire with the release of hostages, the expansion of humanitarian assistance, and an environment for working on an enduring resolution. And there, the issue is Hamas. The issue is whether Hamas will decide or not to have a ceasefire that would benefit everyone. The ball is in their court. We're working intensely on it, and we'll see what they do. But there's no doubt in my mind that getting to this ceasefire with the release of hostages would be a profound benefit to everyone involved.
Some other news. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan on Friday in Istanbul. Erdogan hosted Zelensky for talks on the course of Ukraine-Russia conflict, the defunct Black Sea grain deal and increased defense industry cooperation. The leaders also discussed bilateral defense industry cooperation and the release of Ukrainian prisoners of war held by Moscow. Turkey is expected to emphasize its continued strong support for Ukraine's territorial integrity, sovereignty and independence during the visit. As the latest member of NATO, Sweden says it's ready to share burdens, responsibilities and risks with other allies. Russia has been historically opposed to the military alliance's expansion. Ishan Garg has more from Brussels, where NATO is headquartered.
Well, after 200 years of non-alignment, Sweden has formally become NATO's 32nd member, turning the Baltics into what defense analysts are calling a NATO stronghold. The risk that prompted Sweden to apply for the membership in the first place was actually Russia. Shortly after Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022, Sweden and Finland applied for NATO membership. Sweden borders Finland, which shares a 1,340-kilometer border with Russia. Though Sweden's plan to membership was made tough by opposition from member countries Turkey and Hungary, the US says it was always confident that this day would come. NATO's Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg has congratulated Sweden and says the nation brings with itself a capable army. Sweden spends roughly 1.5% of its GDP on defense and aims to bring it closer to 2% in the next year. Defense analysts say the country doesn't boast of a large army, but it's an advanced and well-equipped one. Sweden's membership could be a major irritant for President Vladimir Putin, though. He has historically opposed NATO's expansion, calling it colonial and evil. But as concerns about Russia boosting its troops along NATO's borders looms large, European nations are focusing on improving their defense capabilities. The Nordic countries recently participated in NATO war games in the High North, and member countries' defense spending is reaching historic highs. While NATO says there's no immediate threat to its members from Russia, it has repeated its commitment to common defense. Article 5 of NATO's charter says an attack on one ally is an attack on all of them. And it's this security common blanket that Sweden will benefit from as the newest member of the bloc after ratification on Thursday. Ishan Garg in Brussels, reporting for DD India.
Armenia is considering applying for European Union membership as it seeks to forge closer ties with the West in the face of tensions with traditional ally Russia. Speaking to Turkey's world television station TRT, Armenia's Foreign Minister Arafat Mirzoyan said many new opportunities are largely being discussed in Armenia nowadays. That will not be a secret if I say that includes membership in the European Union. Since coming to power in 2018 revolution, Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan has deepened Armenia's ties with Europe and the US, repeatedly drawing the ire of traditional ally Russia. That's all for this edition of DD India Live. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.